As we continue into chapter 3, we're going to continue our talk of conformation and shape, but in the context, in this case, of rings or cycloalkanes. When we look at the idea of a cycloalkane or ring, and remember that the most stable bond angle when you have an sp3 carbon should be near 109.5, we'd think that if cycloalkanes are planar, then cyclopentane would be the most stable because its bond angle is 108, the closest to 109.5. And then that would follow by cyclohexane. And we can measure stability using enthalpies of combustion. And when you look at the enthalpy of combustion, so if we look at our heat of combustion here, and we look along, you'll see that cyclopentane is in fact not the most stable. Instead, cyclohexane is more stable. So compare our rings we showed. Cyclohexane here and cyclopentane here. You'll see that there is more release of energy from a cyclohexane ring. This is evidence right here that cycloalkanes in general are not planar as we might imagine. And this is with the exception, as you will see, of cyclopropane. First, let's delve into the smaller rings and talk about the strains that they are under. Starting with cyclopropane. Cyclopropane is under extreme strain. It's under extreme angle strain. As shown, its internal carbon-carbon-carbon bond angle, so the angle within these carbons, is at 60 degrees. The carbon-carbon bonds in a cyclopentane are bent and are derived from angled overlap of sp3 hybrids. So even though they are sp3 bonds happening here, those are the overlap of the sp3 bonds to make a sigma bond, those are so bent. It also suffers from torsional strain. Remember, we talked about torsional strain in the last lecture. That's where you have any eclipsing of groups across from each other. So on a cyclopropane, you can see, for example, this hydrogen and this hydrogen are eclipsing, and so on and so forth. Actually, all of its substituent groups eclipse each other. So not only is it extremely bent and under angle strain, it also is under torsional strain, and that's because this is the only position that cyclopropane can be in. It is in a fixed position. It cannot move its hydrogens. We talked about free rotation on our long chains, on our alkanes, but in a cyclopropane, those hydrogens are not rotating. They are in a fixed position, and thus they have to be eclipsed and are under torsional strain. So again, in cyclopropane, the adjacent CH2 groups are eclipsed, as I just said, unlike in something like ethane. It can't be relieved through rotation because of this interior bond angle that is occurring. So these are locked into place, resulting in this torsional strain. So if you were to look at this, for example, in a Newman projection, we're looking along these carbons here, you would see that the hydrogens paired off across from each carbon are eclipsing each other. Now, this angle is slightly relieved when you move into something like a cyclobutane. Its bond angle is not as bad. It's a 90-degree bond angle. And this gives it just enough freedom to allow the ring to pucker. So by puckering into this shape, as you can see here, the cyclobutane minimizes some of its torsional strain, that eclipsing strain of hydrogens overlapping. Now, the angle is still tight enough that these hydrogens are not freely rotating. They are fixed in place as shown, but via the puckering of the ring, they can escape some overlap. Nonetheless, cyclobutane is still a pretty unstable ring. So at first glance, cyclopentane is more strained than cyclohexane, and that might seem strange because of the bond angle, as I brought up. It's very close to the ideal of a tetrahedral angle of 109 degrees, and we know that hexagons have a bond angle of 120 degrees. So again, shouldn't we expect cyclohexane to be more strained than cyclopentane and not less? And the difference here is that the molecules don't have to be flat. As we just saw with cyclobutane, these rings aren't planar necessarily, again, except for cyclopropane. And cyclobutane can pucker. Thus, cyclopentane and cyclohexane also have some flexibility in the ring as well. And this can alleviate some of the torsional strain that you would see in these rings. So for cyclopentane, the planar conformation has little angle strain, as we said. Remember, angle strain, the interior strain, isn't there as much because it's at a favorable 108 degrees, but it does have torsional strain. This is when it is planar. So if it was planar, you would see that these hydrogens would be overlapping. Now it does have some movement. It conforms into something called the envelope or the half chair conformer. This is also called the twist conformer. This is a different kind of puckering of the ring, movement of the ring, to alleviate some of that torsional strain. And they're pretty similar in energy. So again, here's the flat cyclopentane. It has no angle strain, but it does have extreme torsional strain. But both the envelope and the twist conformation alleviate some of that strain. Now, it doesn't make perfectly staggered carbon-carbon bonds, so there's still some torsional strain, still some overlap strain, but it alleviates from 10 kilocal per mole of torsional strain to only 6 kilocal per mole of torsional strain when it moves into this envelope or twist conformation.